It's March 31st, 1922. We are in the Bavarian countryside of Germany. 40 miles north of Munich, there is an isolated farm surrounded by thick trees. The locals call this place Hinterkaifeck. The Gruber family lives here. They are wealthy, hard-working, but unsociable. The head of the household is 63-year-old Andreas Gruber, a stern and difficult man. With him is his wife, Cecilia, age 72. Their widowed daughter, 35-year-old Victoria Gabriel, runs the household and lives here with her two children, 7-year-old Cecilia and 2-year-old Joseph. But in the days leading up to March 31st, their isolation turns into a trap. Strange things begin to happen. 6 months earlier, the previous maid abruptly quit. She fled in a panic, claiming the house was haunted by footsteps in the attic and voices in the dark. The family dismissed her fears. But in mid-March, Andreas Gruber notices unsettling details himself. He finds a Munich newspaper on the property that he never bought. No one in the area subscribes to it. Days later, he discovers fresh footprints in the snow. They lead out of the dense forest and directly toward the farmhouse. Andreas follows them, expecting them to loop back out. They do not. The tracks stop at the house. Whoever walked out of the forest never left. Andreas searches the barn and tool shed, but finds nothing. Yet, the disturbances continue. The family hears heavy footsteps in the attic at night. A set of house keys goes missing. Scratches appear on the tool shed lock, as if someone tried to pick it. Andreas tells a neighbour, but refuses to call the police. He believes he can handle it. This is a fatal mistake. On the afternoon of Friday, March 31st, a new maid arrives. Her name is Maria Baumgartner. It is her first day on the job. It will also be her last. As evening falls, the farm goes quiet. What happens next is reconstructed from forensic evidence. One by one, the family members are lured from the farmhouse into the freezing barn. First, it is likely the older couple, Andreas and Cecilia. They walk into the stable and are struck down. The weapon is a mattock, a heavy farming pickaxe. The blows are precise and immediately fatal. Next is Victoria, followed by 7-year-old Cecilia. The killer stacks their bodies in the barn, covering them with hay and an old door. But the night is not over. The killer moves into the farmhouse. They find the new maid, Maria, in her bedroom. She is killed in her bed. Finally, they find 2-year-old Joseph sleeping in his cot. Tragically, he was not spared. The violence ends. 6 people are dead. The entire household is wiped out in less than an hour. Logic suggests the perpetrator would flee immediately, but that's not what happens. For the next 3 days, life at Hinterkaifeck appears to continue. Neighbours see smoke rising from the chimney. The cattle are fed. The dog is tied up in the yard. On Saturday, tradesmen knock on the door but get no answer. On Sunday, the family is missing from church. Someone is living in the house with the bodies. They are eating the family's food and sleeping in their beds. It is not until Tuesday, April 4th, that the silence breaks. A mechanic arrives to repair an engine. He waits an hour, hearing only the dog barking inside the barn, and eventually leaves. Later that afternoon, a neighbour named Lorenz Schlittenbauer decides to check on the family. He takes 2 other men with him. They find the farm locked and silent. Schlittenbauer breaks into the barn. In the dim light, he sees a foot protruding from the hay. He pulls it back to reveal the gruesome scene. The bodies of the 4 family members stacked together. Horrified, the men push into the house. Inside, they confirm the fate of the maid and the infant in their rooms. The police from Munich arrive hours later. The investigation is chaotic. The crime scene is trampled by curious locals before detectives can secure it, destroying evidence. The police find strange clues. They discover the killer had removed roof tiles to create a hidden observation post. They could watch the entire yard from above. This confirms the killer was hiding on the property long before the murders, perhaps living in the attic while the family slept. They find remnants of meals eaten in the kitchen after the murders. They find the mattock hidden in the floorboards, but they do not find a motive. Money and gold are found untouched in the house, ruling out robbery. This suggests the motive was personal, driven by hatred or madness. Over 100 suspects are questioned, including escaped criminals and neighbours. Suspicion falls heavily on Lorenz Schlittenbauer, the man who found the bodies. He had a past relationship with Victoria and seemed to know the crime scene too well, but there is no concrete proof. Schlittenbauer maintains his innocence. In a bizarre turn, the victims' skulls are sent to Munich to be examined by clairvoyants for psychic clues. They yield no answers and are tragically lost during World War II. A year after the murders, the farm is demolished. As the locals tear down the attic, they find a hidden space in the hay. They find flattened straw where someone had slept and leftover food. The evidence confirms the terrifying truth. They were never alone. Today, nothing remains of the farm except a religious pillar in the field, bearing the names of the 6 victims. The case remains open, used in police academies to train students. But after a century, the truth is buried. We know the who, the where, and the when, but we do not know the why, and we do not know the name of the person who walked out of the woods, lived in the shadows, and disappeared, leaving only footprints that led nowhere.